Why don't we go ahead and get going, because now it's 3 after 12. Stay somewhat on time here. So hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar series, Opening Doors for Seniors. Today's topic will be navigating the cost of assisted living. I'm Christina Bremner, founder and CEO of Purple Door Finders, and I hope by now you've had a chance to check out our website, poke around on it a little bit, and I think you'll discover that we are similar, what I like to describe as the Zillow for finding senior living, all types of senior living. That's independent, assisted, memory care, hospice, nursing homes, even in-home health care. So we're the only senior listing service that shows real-time information, meaning we show live vacancies. So just like Zillow shows homes that are for sale or places that are for rent, we do the same thing, but in the senior living arena. This information of knowing where a vacancy at is very crucial for seniors when there's a change of condition, such as a health crisis or a disaster. We recently experienced, that is Florida, the hurricanes, and those seniors in some of those areas became displaced and needed to find an immediate vacancy in a different location. So we were able to help with that. We have added a new feature to our website, which is showing upcoming events. So this is a great opportunity if any of you in the audience are looking for a community right now. You can see who has an upcoming event, meaning are they doing an open house? Is there maybe a concert series that they're hosting or a brunch on a Sunday? And you can go into the community, meet the other residents, the staff, and kind of get familiar with the community and help the senior with the transition or the move. So enough about that. But the housekeeping items, everyone, as you've probably realized now, you'll be muted during the call. Questions and answers period will be at the end. We'll allow about 15 minutes. So type in your questions, and Jen will be moderating those for us. And Jen is our Chief Strategy Officer.
Hello.
And then also in this call on the panel is Kendra, and Kendra does our marketing for Purple Door Finders. We will, at the end, we'll be sending you by email, probably by tomorrow, expect from us, some of the resources that we may show on today's presentation, and it'll include our contact information so that you can get a hold of us if you have further questions, or maybe we didn't answer something for you. So let's get started. I'm gonna, again, talk about me. I'm a former assisted living marketing director for a community and an organization in California. And I met with many seniors and their advocates. And one of the number one questions I heard repeatedly is how to navigate the cost of assisted living. And I did my best at helping with that. And I thought I was doing well until I met Sherry Babel. We realized immediately that with our two businesses, we had an amazing opportunity to really have an impact and help seniors and their advocates and family members to understand this. And Sherry has a business called Senior Living Financial Specialist. So I'd like to introduce you to Katie and to Don, and they will be pretty much running the show from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. Hi, yes, I'm Katie. I am the Program Operations Director for Senior Living Financial Specialists. And I did bring along with me one of our financial specialists, Dawn Grutter, who is phenomenal and so knowledgeable. So I wanted her to help me with the Q&A section. So please throw your questions in there. We want to hear them and answer as many as possible that we can. So as we go through the presentation and what we talk about, any questions that come to mind, throw it in that Q&A, and Jen will help Dawn and I navigate through your questions. So yeah, just like Christina said, we're super excited to be here and to discuss this topic. This is something that we are very well versed in seeing that we are the senior living financial specialist. When Christina said she was putting this webinar topic together, we were very interested in being a part of the discussion. You know, there are over 80% of those that are looking for senior living are doing so online, and 53% of those people describe the process with anxiety and frustration. So just like with any online search, you can be inundated with information and you're unsure how it applies to you. Or there could be very little, very vague information. It's our goal to empower you with the knowledge and tools necessary to confidently plan your future or that of your loved one. So without further ado, I am going to share my presentation here. Just one moment. Sorry, buttons. Perfect, that should pull it up. Let's just jump right in. So the topics that we'd like to cover are understanding senior living, the financial impact and what it means to you, reviewing the different resources that can be used to pay for senior living, providing education on these financial resources that are available to assist with the cost of senior living and the benefits of working with one of our financial specialists as well, and discussing some steps that you can take to prepare for, a senior living financial roadmap to make you feel more prepared for your next steps. So first, let's talk real briefly on the types of communities, because that affects what you are going to use and need to use to pay for long-term care. So we have a traditional rental community, which these types of community are denoted by their level of care that they offer. And they typically specialize in one to maybe two of the different types of level of care, which could be an independent living, assisted living, a memory care, or possibly a skilled nursing type of care community. So, and they do a monthly rental. So these costs is just a monthly fee, just like you would if you rented an apartment. It's the same deal, but they also have the level of care fees as well that they add on based on the level of care that is needed for their senior, their resident. And then there's two different types of continuing care retirement communities, and there's an entry fee and there's a monthly rental. Now, this is something that gets a little more tricky. So if there's a CCRC or a continuing care retirement community that has an entry fee, this is a community that is going to cover all levels of care. It is a lifelong community. So they typically call them life plan communities because you can remain there. They'll cover every level of care in that one community. And you pay a large, significant entry fee along with a one-time cost upfront, and then a monthly fee going forward, just like a monthly rental. And that fee goes in, the original fee goes into a fund for that community. So this fund, the communities fund, is used to help pay for the cost of care when that resident or that senior is facing either a gap in affordability, or whether the increasing care costs, whether it's due to increasing care costs or dwindling funds. They're differentiated by a for-profit or a not-for-profit community as far as a CCRC entry fee community. Those that are not-for-profit, the fund is considered a benevolent fund, and it takes on donations to help pay towards that gap in care cost affordability. And then for-profit communities are, after the resident goes through the funds that they have paid in with their entry fee, then the community will turn to government resources to help cover that gap in the costs and the care. And then lastly, the CCRC, the continuing care retirement community, which is just rental. This is the same community that covers all levels of care, but you have the flexibility of just paying the monthly cost with the care fees for the level of care that you are currently receiving. So there are kind of different shades and different shapes of communities and the way that the cost structure is put together and how it goes. When we talk levels of care, I know originally we talk about, or this webinar is supposed to focus on assisted living, but I really like to say with every different type of community offering a myriad of levels of care, depending on whether you are doing a continuum care community or a monthly rental community through different levels of care, they might have a different mixture. So you never know what is going to fit best for your needs and your wants. Talking about independent living, this type of community is typically for those that are more self-sufficient and they're just looking for a more active and social lifestyle. And then assisted living communities combines residential housing with access to those healthcare and supportive services. So they provide moderate support for activities of daily living like meals and bathing, medication management, and so much more. And they can residents can maintain their independence in a safe environment. You have memory care communities that specialize environments and specially design them to cater to older adults with cognitive issues such as dementia and Alzheimer's. And they prioritize providing safe and comfortable space where residents can go about their daily routine, but still be safe and have tailored services for them. And when you hear the term nursing home, that's what a current day skilled nursing community is going to come to mind. So these are modern day nursing homes. They cater to individuals with either recovering from illness or surgery or living with a chronic condition. And they're in need of comprehensive therapies like physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. The medical attention is provided around the clock from in-house healthcare professionals, and they ensure that residents get that necessary support. So depending on the type of community that you're looking at for the pay structure versus the care that is provided, all of that in your research is what is going to shape your choice and what fits best for you or your loved one. When we talk about ways to pay for senior living or ways to pay for long-term care, it kind of falls into two different buckets. There are the assets that you currently have. So using your own financial assets that you have built for retirement savings, like your 401ks, IRAs, investment accounts, proceeds from asset sales, like the sale of a house or sale of a car, antiques, gold buying, anything that comes from sale of your assets, and maybe it's estate sale, downsizing. So any of those proceeds or other savings accounts that you have accumulated. But then you can also utilize financial resources or benefits like Social Security, veterans benefits, long-term care insurance claims, or lending options to help supplement with if you have a gap or anything like that to cover those costs. There are some cases where Medicaid can be used. There are very specific instances in communities that will accept Medicaid. So that is a question that you would have to ask when you start your senior living investigation. And so when you're considering your options and preparing your budget, if you have any concerns or feel stressed over, the financial impact of senior living and what it means to you, really speaking with an expert can bring you a lot of peace of mind and really help shape that for you. So once you've decided on the community that is the best fit for you or your loved one, the last step is assuring that it's within your budget. And to truly grasp the financial impact of transitioning into a senior living community, you need to consider the total value included in the pricing compared to your current situation. So like I said, most communities have 3 different costs. They're going to have the monthly cost known as a rent. They're going to have care fees, and then they're also going to have that one-time community fee or entry fee at the very beginning. Some communities even roll their care fees with their monthly rent amount to make it one payment to make it easy on you. So think about what you're paying for right now, your mortgage or rent, escrow or property taxes if you have an HOA or condo fees, your utilities, electric, gas, water, sewer, trash. Having savings set aside for home repairs and maintenance, like if your furnace or AC maintenance, roof repairs, washer dryer maintenance, lawn services. And think about your grocery budget, even wellness items like a gym membership or home care services. All of these items that you're currently budgeting for and paying for are all rolled into, or typically all rolled into, that monthly cost for the community. So not only is it all covered in your monthly rent, but it also is going to ease the burden of having to make all those separate payments and hold all those separate accounts. It's really going to relieve you of the responsibility of having to maintain those items in your life. So when considering your financial impact, it's a really great idea to sit down and look at all of these monthly expenses and write them out just to see, compare and contrast what this budget of yours would look like. So of those over 65 years old that have moderate care needs, so typically about assisted living needs, 21% will be unable to completely afford it. And they fall short in varying degrees. Some have enough funds to cover and some have a wider gap than others. So how do we bridge this gap? So that's where we come in, and our program, Senior Living Financial Specialist, acts as a trusted advisory team of senior living experts with financial resource subject matter expertise. So we've created a centralized grouping of service providers that assist with financial resources that can be used to pay towards senior living. And we have thoroughly vetted all of our partners for our 4 pillars of value, which is ethics, customer service, effectiveness of their services, and affordability of their services. Our team provides education and advocates for seniors that we work with to ensure that everyone has knowledge and access to all of these resources that are available to make living in the senior living community of your choice a reality. And again, like I said at the beginning, 53% of those that are out there searching for senior living describe the process with anxiety and frustration. What we want to do and what we do every day is we're here to lower the shoulders and relax the families that we work with, and really relieve them of the burden of having to find these answers on their own, and not understanding what they're reading in their research and so on. So that's what we're here to do as a trusted advisory team for our seniors. And our team are all senior living experts. Collectively, I believe we have over 115 years of senior living experience across our entire team. So working with a financial specialist, you're truly getting someone who understands everything inside and out senior living that can help you through the transitionary process. So aside from the personal assets that can be used to pay for your senior living community, we also assist with educating, connecting families that we work with on resources in the senior living space. And while our program has over 30 that we can assist with, I just want to review the top 5 that we see most frequently. So number 1 that we see most frequently is VA aid and attendance. So aid and attendance is additional funds that can be added onto a monthly VA pension for qualified veterans or their surviving spouse. These funds are meant to offset the cost of additional care. And so if you or a loved one has honorable military service, they may qualify. So to talk about the qualifiers, there are 3 different qualifiers that go into aid and attendance, and that is service of at least 90 days, 1 day of which during a period of war. There are health qualifiers where you need assistance to perform activities of daily living, or you're bedridden, or they're a patient in a nursing home due to loss of mental or physical abilities related to a disability. There are other health qualifiers that fall under aid and attendance qualification as well. And then there's an asset limit. So certain assets, the asset limit right now for 2024 is $155,356. Okay. But certain assets count towards that value and certain ones do not. For example, your home. So it's really great. A benefit of working with a financial specialist is we can help you wade through your qualifiers to see if aid and attendance is, something that you may possibly be able to obtain. And through working with a financial specialist, we get you a consultation that's included with our services. We get you a consultation with our VA accredited agent to discuss qualification, and they even can provide application assistance that can be discounted down to $800 when working with a financial specialist. Or if you were referred over from one of our communities that are enrolled in our services, your application fees could even be waived. So working with a financial specialist could really benefit you in that way of getting you connected with a VA accredited agent who is phenomenal at assisting with applications and getting those benefits approved. There are over 7.1 million living wartime veterans over the age of 65 right now. That is 1 in 4 people over the age of 65. There's so many people, so many seniors out there that may be walking around that can qualify for this benefit. So, doing your research and getting in contact with someone who can help you wade through the gray area on the qualifiers to get you those funds as soon as possible is definitely a great rule of thumb. The next one that we see is long-term care insurance. Did you know that only 13% of long-term care insurance claims end because they hit their policy maximum? That is it. There is so much money that gets left on the table when we talk about long-term care insurance claims that it's not funny, because these policies were written, 40 years ago when there were 400 companies writing them, and now there's only 4 companies that manage these policies today. So long-term care insurance is a really great benefit that offers additional protection to seniors that cover expenses that are not typically included in medical insurance. So traditional health insurance usually doesn't cover long-term care beyond injury or illness treatment, whereas long-term care insurance focuses on maintaining overall quality of life. So with long-term care insurance coverage, seniors can access services like adult daycare, assisted living, memory care, respite care, skilled nursing, and assistance with their daily living activities. Each policy is very different, and why it would benefit you to work with a financial specialist who may understand, the policies and get you connected with an expert that can read through the policy is they're all different to trigger their triggers to I would say qualifiers, but to trigger a long-term care insurance claim, the policyholder has to meet a health requirement. There may be a elimination period where you have to prove needing assistance over a certain period of time, like 30, 60, or 90 days. So it's really great rule of thumb to at least speak with an expert to review your policy so that you can make a great plan going forward of how to get the most out of it. They're expensive to pay for. They're expensive to have that, seniors have paid into it. They should get the most out of it that they possibly can. So learning about the policy before even needing to use it is a great rule of thumb. And it's something that we work with a lot of our seniors. Lending options. There are multiple lending options that fall into 2 different buckets, which is unsecured and secured lending. So secured lending is a loan or a line of credit that has collateral attached. For example, a car loan or a home equity line of credit. Unsecured lending does not use collateral like a credit card or a personal loan. So depending on the financial situation, the timetable of the need, there may be a lending option that fits into the picture. And the most popular that we see in senior living is a bridge loan. A bridge loan is just a fancy home equity line of credit that is specifically created for senior living. It has interest-only payments and can close in as little as 2 weeks. The great thing about specifically created for senior living bridge loans is they have more beneficial, qualifiers and like credit score tier, debt to income ratios, and less need for a co-signer and so on and so forth. They're a lot more forgiving on those items compared to traditional home equity lines of credit. But your typical qualifier for this is going to be just like if you were to apply for any other type of lending option. So your standing lending qualifiers like credit score, debt to income ratio, the collateral itself has to qualify based on its valuation compared to the lending amount. So how much the home or the car is worth compared to how much you're borrowing. The benefits of working with lending or utilizing lending is they can help in multiple ways. They can bridge fund gaps. They can help you with timing and extra funds if you're preparing a home for sale, and provide those transition funds like preliminary long-term care costs, funds while waiting for the home to sell, funds while waiting for other benefits to come through, like the elimination period for a long-term care insurance claim or your VA application waiting period. So working with a financial specialist, we review all your options. And if lending is an option that would be beneficial to your situation, then we'll schedule you to chat with one of our lending chaperones that we work with. And that lending chaperone will discuss your goals, your current financial situation, and create a plan with you. And from that information, they can give you information on rates, payments, and how you choose to move forward. Life insurance. The typical process with life insurance is that upon death, the death benefit gets paid out to the beneficiaries that are listed. There are actually 3 ways that you can access funds from your life insurance policy while you are alive. You can get a cash payout from the policy that cancels the policy, but it gives you the cash value. It's usually about 20% of the face value. You could consider a life settlement if you have an immediate need for that cash.
You'll have to me by the time we hang up. So yeah, probably don't need to do anything.
Somebody needs to mute. Sorry. So you could consider life settlement if you have an immediate need for the cash that trumps the need for the life insurance. You can sell the policy and get a little bit more out of it. And then you can use the policy as collateral on a line of credit. So you can leave the policy active and use that as collateral for a line of credit that you can continue to draw from. The great part about that is since it stays active, the remaining balance of the death benefit will still go to the beneficiaries. So you have access to this line of credit within 1 to 2 months, depending on how fast that policyholder can communicate. And you are still leaving that generational wealth for your beneficiary after. For qualifiers, you have to be typically 65 or older, and it does have a health qualifier, as well as depending on the policy type and how much the policy is worth. Typically, we see whole or term policies that can be considered. Accidental death does not get considered, and the policy valuation typically has to be 100,000 or more. And so with our partners, they can give you a free policy review and a quote on the situation. And to see if it's in your best interest to move forward, they'll go over all of that with you in the consultation. And then lastly, realty. So when it comes to realty, there's a couple different options. Of course, we can always get you connected with a realtor to, hear how they go about listing and what they would list the home for and give you quotes on that and how you'd like to list the property. We also have a cash home sale option, which is a network of investors, and they are highly trained on the senior living transition. So they, treat the situation very sensitive, but they will come in and offer you a cash offer for the home. You can close in as little as 30 days most of the time, if not even quicker, depending on other factors. But depending on the timeline and whether or not you need to get into assisted living quicker, or if you have more time, working with either getting it out on the listing in the realtor space, or having working with an investor on a timeline where they just pay cash and it's you take what you want and you leave the rest. It really just depends on your goals and what your needs are along the way. Our partners for our cash home sale investor network also can help with estate sales and downsizing and spatial planning and all these really amazing things that come into play when you need to leave a situation and get into senior living as quickly as possible. So working with our team of financial specialists, we can connect you with your local realtors to get some quotes and ideas on how to navigate your market to create a fruitful listing. And then we can also throw in a consultation with a free offer from our cash home sale partner, so that they'll send out one of their senior transition specialists to provide that free estimate and that cash offer based on your timeline and goals. So let's talk about creating a financial roadmap and how to get prepared. So there's just a few easy steps. And the first one is going to be make a plan for who is going to assist you through this process. So it's great to have someone who knows your wants, needs, wishes from the very beginning. Have a plan for who that is and when, and you can assign this person power of attorney so that should they ever need to act on your behalf, that's provided to them. And if you include them from the beginning of your senior living research, you'll always have that peace of mind that they are up to speed and can carry out your vision the best way possible. The next piece is to get organized. So create a list of your assets, your incomes, liabilities, and it's best to know your budget to foresee any future gaps. Also have ways that your power of attorney or your support person can access these items in the future should they need to assist with any documentation that needs to be provided. And reviewing your financial information with an expert is a very important step to creating that move-in confidence, whether it's your financial planner or one of the specialists on your team. Taking a look into your current financials and looking for any resource qualifiers will give you a clear understanding of your budget and the longevity of your finances. So this knowledge will really bolster your confidence in making an informed decision on the next steps. If you'd like to work with a financial specialist, there are a couple different ways that you can do that. We do have a consultation that is $550 where we do a deep dive financial discovery and we review any possible financial resource qualifiers. We'll give you that education on it. If you are working with one of the communities that are currently enrolled in our services, our consultation is actually free because it's provided by our enrolled communities. So you should definitely, if you are investigating into communities, head over to our website and look on our directory and see if one of them might be a senior living financial specialist enrolled. The next step in that is when you get a consultation with a financial specialist, any of the resource consultations are completely free. They're included with your consultation with our team. So you'll get to talk to the resource experts, these service providers, to go through the education on the resource even further, review your qualifiers and process that information. Now, should you want to move forward with obtaining that financial resource, if you do qualify for it, you can do it in multiple different ways, and that is cost dependent. You can, if it's something you can apply for on your own, fantastic, more power to you. If it's something that you want to hire on the services of our partners, any costs associated with that will be discussed during your consultation. So completely transparent, you'll know exactly what it is up front. Or maybe you already are working on applying for something, or you already have a service provider in mind that you want to work with or have been working with. Your financial specialist will be there to hold your hand through every step. We're here to help you manage that action plan from application to award and really hold your hand so that, you know, any questions that arise, making sure you're making it to those next steps and things are getting done timely, questions are being answered. You have someone there to hold your hand through every step, because we know how confusing this whole process can be when looking at senior living. So just know that there is a financial specialist out there that would love to help you. Should you have any questions, you can always reach out to our team. So before we get into the Q&A portion, I just want to thank Purple Door Finders for inviting us to speak with you all today on how to navigate the cost of assisted living. And I hope you receive some good clarifying information to help you at whatever phase of the senior living journey you are at. I'm going to hand it back over to our moderator to start the Q&A section. So please go ahead, throw some questions in that chat. We'd love to review them with you.
All right, thank you so much for the presentation. So we have a few questions here and I'm going to go through, and then we also do have some questions that we have prepared for you just to kind of clarify some of the topics that we've discussed today. But I'll go ahead and start with the Q&A. So we had somebody ask the question, I thought there was no, that you weren't, you can't charge the vet to assist with their application.
That's a true statement. And with the resource that we use, they've been doing this since 2005. They're very well received by the VA because they do not charge that fee. What they do charge for is a consultation, and that is perfectly fine with the VA and approved.
Okay, so to clarify, the consultation is the charge, but not the actual application itself.
True.
Okay.
Correct.
They will give in the consultation, they'll help you step by step how to create this application. They review it with you, for you, with a fine-tooth comb. Our partner has a 99.9% acceptance rate of their applications that they assist on. And they also have been able to get application to award in just about 4 months right now, which is unheard of in the industry right now. So they're a phenomenal partner in everything that they do, and we absolutely love working with them.
Perfect. Thank you. I hope that helped answer your question. It was submitted anonymously, so I'm not able to, call the person's name to help them know that we've answered their question. Okay, can you share anything about Medicaid approved annuities?
Medicaid approved annuities. No, that is not something that I can answer, but if that person wants to provide you with an email address, we can certainly look into that.
Perfect.
Medicaid is different in every state. So we have 50 states. Medicaid's different in all 50 states. So we really do need to defer to our experts for that sort of thing.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, that is a very specialized area of the industry. And there's a lot of very niche communities that will even accept Medicaid, not all do. And it is different for every state based on what they allow or allot as far as percentages of communities beds that have to be reserved for that. So you can always go through your local government, health and family services websites. And I'm pretty sure on Purple Door Finders, they have amazing resources for state by state links about Medicaid information. So they're a great resource to use as well.
Thank you. And then we had a question as well about having this available for viewing later. So we will be following up with all of our attendees, all of the registrations with some additional resources that will be made available in the following couple days. So you will be hearing from us. Oh, perfect. Thank you. We just got the email. So we will be following up with you. And their question was specifically in Oregon. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go over some of the frequently asked questions, just in case, you know, you're still digesting all this information and you're like, wait, I have a question. So if you, some of the topics that we can answer questions is realty and asset sales. One of the questions that are frequently asked is, if I have a home to sell, do I have to wait until I have the proceeds from the sale to move into a community? That's a really good question. Katie or Dawn, could you elaborate on that?
Sure. So as Katie mentioned earlier, there is a product called a bridge loan that you can apply for that can provide you with the transition money that you'll need in order to move forward. It also may be utilized when someone's waiting for money for VA or a claim for long-term care, or even to do repairs on the home that they're getting ready to sell. So you don't even need to have the house necessarily for sale when you apply for the bridge loan.
Okay, thank you. All right. Another frequently asked question: if I have a reverse mortgage, will I be able to keep some of the proceeds of the sale of my home?
So with a reverse mortgage, it's just like any other mortgage. So in that respect, and after the balance is paid off, along with any other costs of selling, and remaining proceeds will be yours. You may request a payoff to see the balance, and you'll need to contact your current entity, banking entity, in order to that you have the reverse mortgage with, to find out those details and to see if you do receive a monthly statement. Definitely contact them, whoever's on that statement, to see. So, you know, if you've done a reverse mortgage and there's equity in your property, then certainly once the reverse mortgage is satisfied, you would get the proceeds difference.
Thank you. All right. And another question is, do I have to sell my house before moving into assisted living?
No, there are many people that choose to keep their home. In fact, with the VA aid and attendance benefit, some families choose to not sell mom or dad's home right away for a variety of reasons. Maybe there's a spouse that's still living there. Maybe the senior is not 100% sure that they want to make this permanent. Or maybe they just don't really need to sell it at that time. So no, you don't have to. For the VA aid and attendance, however, once you do sell the home, it then becomes a liquid asset. So that's when we work closely with the families to determine, do they qualify now? Will they qualify in the future? Or what's the best process in and when to sell that home. So that's what we're here to help you with that.
Yeah, we've even seen some families that have decided to turn it into a rental property to have supplemental income like that from the rental of the home.
Thank you. So we did get another question in the chat here, or in the Q&A. Can you refer will and trust attorney?
Yeah.
Are they
Yeah.
asking for like references?
That's probably what they're asking
Okay.
for.
I
And
just wanted to make sure.
And also with that, every state has different elder law rules and regulations. So it is very important that we get you linked with somebody from the state that you are residing in to make sure that you're doing things correctly. I know here where we are, there are many elder law attorneys that will have a free consultation. But yes, between us and if you are being referred by one of our partnered communities, we can definitely find you somebody that can assist in getting a free consultation.
Perfect. Okay. I'm also just replying to the questions here to them to let you know that we've answered the question. Perfect. Okay. So thank you guys for using the Q&A feature. It's very helpful. Okay, so going back to some of the frequently asked questions, we have about 15 minutes here. So if there's any more questions that you have that come to mind, please just drop them in the Q&A and I will kind of pivot back and forth to get those questions answered. Okay, so with regards to veterans, how long does it take for the VA to approve my application for the VA benefit?
So once the application has been received by the VA, it usually takes 4 to 5 months for the VA process to award and place it in your bank account along with the dollars you will receive from the months you have been waiting for the approval minus the application month.
Yeah, it's really great when we talk about veterans aid and attendance because it does take a while to get that application through, all the channels that it needs to go through, which is why working with a VA accredited agent is so beneficial because they can help you understand how to catch up and get updates on where your application is at. So that's a great piece, but also it helps streamline everything along the way to help you get it more and faster.
The other important thing to know is when you're utilizing our services, we stay with the families throughout the process. So until that award money is in your account, you don't get rid of us. We're there to hold your hand through the process, along with, let's just say you are over asset at the time. We stay with our families. Maybe we call them every quarter, every 6 months, or once a year to see if they're ready to process their application to make sure they take advantage of the VA aid and attendance benefit as soon as they can.
Because the typical process is you have to send in intent to file that you will be sending in an application, and that is the initial start to your application process. The month you send that in doesn't count to the benefit, but the month after and so on and so forth will count. So once you get that application in and however long it takes to get approved, you will get the back pay of the benefit all the way up to the month after you submit that intent to file. So knowing the right time and watching your qualifiers so that you have the best possible plan of when to get that process started so you don't lose out on any of that benefit and leave money on the table is very, very, very important.
That's very helpful. Thank you. Okay, so another question is how much assistance do I need to receive an assisted living to qualify for it?
So there is no amount they gauge it on. However, your physician would need to document on their report to the VA that you can no longer live at home alone and thrive. You may be prone to falls from medications or from other medical reasons, and that may be enough for your doctor to recommend senior living since someone is there 24/7 if you need them.
Thank you. I think Christina actually had a question for all of us, so
I
I'm gonna
do.
let her
Over
take
here
over for a little bit.
waving. Hello. In regards to aid and attendance, can you talk about a surviving spouse if the couple have divorced? Is the survival spouse qualified?
So in most cases, if you, it's just what the VA calls, if you divorce the man, you divorce the benefit. So if by chance you stuck with him before you divorced and you're a widow, then you would get widow's benefits. But the spousal benefit is for those who are still married to the veteran.
Thank you. That's what I actually meant to ask. If yes. And then I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the Medicaid. And thank you, Katie, for mentioning that we do have some resources. Up at the top of our website, you'll see a resource page. It says residents and resources. Just click on that, and by each state, you'll be able to figure out who to contact or how to contact the Medicaid offices and apply. And then we do have a filter feature. It's the standard filter icon. Look for that when you're searching for a community. If you're looking for a community that offers a Medicaid waivered bed or unit, it will show on, by the city if you filter it with Medicaid. If you don't see anything in that particular city, then click on by map, and then it will show you all the Medicaid available apartments or units in the entire radius that you're looking in by map. That's all I had.
Thank you. Okay, so a few more questions here. Can someone receive VA benefits if they were living in an independent living community?
That's a great question. For a long, long time, the VA was not recognizing independent living as being able to qualify. And our resource is Lobbies on the Hill for our veterans. And I believe it was last spring, she was able to get the VA to kind of turn that around a little bit. So it is possible if you live in an independent living community that has someone there overnight, it is possible to qualify. You still have to qualify for all the other things that somebody in assisted living needs to qualify for. But again, we're here to help you and get you those answers that you need.
Thank you, Dawn.
Actually, Jen, I wanted to
Yes.
mention that Jen and I were in Washington, D.C. during the spring lobbying on behalf of veterans in assisted living.
So did I get it right? Was it last spring or the spring before?
It was this last spring.
Oh, okay, good. I got it right.
Yeah.
Ongoing efforts yeah, to support veteran benefits. Yes. Okay, so a few more questions here with regards to veterans, and we can go into long-term care. How do I find out if a veteran's service dates will qualify him or her or the spouse or the widow for VA benefits?
This is part of our free consultation process. So whether that is speaking to us or if there's some other extenuating circumstances, our resource can do a deeper dive. For instance, if you don't have a DD 214, which is the discharge papers from the veteran, we always tell people don't pay for that service if you're talking to another provider because it's unnecessary. You shouldn't have to pay for it. But we can certainly get that ordered for you as well with no charge.
Thank you. And last question for veterans. Do I have to pay to get a DD 214?
I kind of put the answer in the two questions together. So you shouldn't have to. If you come through us, we'll make sure that we get it ordered for you. It takes about 2 weeks to receive it in most situations.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to long-term care policies. I'm going to just put these two questions together because we're running short on time. But how do I obtain a copy of my long-term care policy? And can you help me to understand the policy?
So I highly recommend to the families that I talk to, before you even ask, let's say mom and dad don't remember where they put their policy, or they only have maybe a cover sheet. I always try to get in front of a family before they even try to call the long-term care people, because, there's still a claims, process, and we don't want you saying something that could make it more difficult to put a claim in. So yes, our team can walk you through the process. In some cases, even call your insurance company with you if you need assistance, especially if somebody has dementia and they're in memory care and it's the POA that's calling. It can be a long, dragged out process to get that copy. So we're here to help you. And then how can you how can we help you understand your long-term care policy? So absolutely. Once a copy of your policy is sent over, our experts review it and then have a consultation with you to help you understand what a good claim looks like. And if now isn't a good claim, what do you need to look out for in order to, what types of things do you want to be alerted to so that you know when you can put a good claim in?
Again, only 13% of those claims end because they hit the policy maximum. They used it for as much as they possibly could. That is it. There's so much money that is left on the table from those policies. So the best thing you can do is arm yourself with the knowledge of how to get the most out of it and when.
Sooner than later. Yeah, sooner than later. So that way you're alerted, even if you haven't moved.
Awesome. Thank you, Don and Katie. All right here. So health insurance. Does my health insurance need to change when I move into assisted living?
So it's always good to have a health insurance, have your health insurance reviewed once you decide it's time to move to assisted living. So you're not stuck paying any unexpected large pharmacy bills, or find out that your physician is no longer going to be able to provide you services at under your insurance. So we have somebody that is licensed in all 50 states that can have a conversation with the family or with the elder and determine at no charge if there is a better provider for that. And that's real important. I mean, it doesn't seem like it is, but I've seen many times over the years somebody come in with a, $500, $700 pharmacy bill because they're on the wrong Medicare supplement and such.
Thank you, Don. All right, I think that was some of the most frequently asked questions with regards to navigating the cost of assisted living. So we're just going to wrap up here in a little bit, but just wanted to say thank you to all of our attendees for being here today to learn about navigating the cost. And we will be following up with some additional resources, as well as an opportunity for all of our attendees to ask any questions. We'll be also sending out a short survey just to kind of get some feedback on how your experience was and what other additional topics you're looking for us to cover. Again, Purple Door Finders is here as a resource to help you navigate and find and search senior living across the nation. It is a free resource, and we highly encourage everyone to utilize the resources that we provide to make not only the experience easier on you and your family, and as well as the resources that we've shared with you here today. We hope this has been very helpful for everyone. And I just want to say thank you again to all of our speakers and our guests and our moderators. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and we will be reaching out to you. So we'll hang out for about 4 more minutes, and just in case anyone has any last minute questions that pop into their head. Oh.
Thank you guys so much for letting us be a part of this conversation.
Thank you.
How tricky it is to, work through senior living, and we help seniors every day try to navigate these questions and their personal situations. So it's really great to have a platform to get some extra knowledge out.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You did a great job, Katie and Dawn.
This is where we need the elevator music.
Okay, well, I don't see any more questions coming through, so I think we can, as they say in the movies, that's a wrap.
Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day and the rest of your week.
Likewise.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.